Good evening. Welcome everyone to tonight's broadcast. We're diving into a story that's equal parts fascinating and, well, a little absurd. Let's talk about Venice. A city of canals, history, a place where time seems to slow down just enough to appreciate the sheer beauty of it all. And lately, billionaire spectacle. It seems Venice has become the go-to destination for those looking to flaunt their wealth in the most extravagant ways imaginable. Recently, Venice hosted the wedding of Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez. An event so over-the-top it made the Roman Empire look understated. We're talking about a level of opulence that would make emperors blush. This wasn't just a wedding, it was a declaration of war on subtlety, a full frontal assault on good taste perhaps. It was a spectacle designed to be seen, photographed, and talked about for years to come. The setting? A private island, probably rented for more than most of us will earn in a lifetime. A sanctuary of exclusivity where the only limit is the size of your bank account. The canals were filled with mahogany speedboats, ferrying celebrities, all looking vaguely uncomfortable. Perhaps they were questioning their life choices, or maybe they just realized they forgot their sunglasses. Overhead drones buzzed, capturing every curated moment, every smile, every toast, every perfectly posed photograph destined for Instagram immortality. For a future documentary no one asked for, a cinematic masterpiece documenting the minutiae of extreme wealth, coming soon to a streaming service near you. It was less a celebration of love, and more a military-grade PR operation, a meticulously planned campaign to solidify their image as the ultimate power couple. The whole affair screamed, "We are in love, and we have hired a small air force to prove it." A vow of unspeakable wealth, broadcast to the world via satellite. Meanwhile, the rest of us are just trying to afford groceries, the essentials. Imagine the planning. We need flowers grown on the moon, and Daft Punk reunited for one night. The demands, the logistics, the sheer audacity of it all. This was a performance, not a party. A play designed to project effortless glamour, a carefully constructed illusion of perfection. But like most things that try too hard, it ended up looking deeply awkward. The forced smiles, the strained conversations, the palpable sense of, we're all just here because we have to be. The Venice wedding wasn't a fairy tale. It was a cautionary tale about what happens when you have more money than sense. A stark reminder that wealth doesn't necessarily equate to taste or happiness. Sometimes the richest people throw the poorest parties. And that, my friends, is a lesson we can all take to heart. So, what actually happened at this festival of fiscal insanity? What unfolded behind the velvet ropes and beyond the carefully curated Instagram posts? The reported budget, a figure so staggering it's hard to fathom, could have funded a hospital. A state-of-the-art medical facility equipped to serve a community in need, providing life-saving care and comfort. Or, if healthcare isn't your thing, it could have bought a small country, an island nation perhaps, complete with its own unique culture, stunning landscapes, and a population that could have truly benefited from such an investment. The ceremony was held in a centuries-old villa, a place steeped in history and tradition, likely redecorated beyond recognition, transformed into a sterile, albeit luxurious, backdrop for the spectacle. Any semblance of its original charm, erased under layers of gold leaf and imported marble. The spending was biblical, but not in a good way. More like a modern-day Tower of Babel, a monument to hubris and excess, destined to crumble under its own weight. There was a champagne fountain flowing for days, an endless cascade of bubbly, likely costing more than most people earn in a year, and a wedding cake so big it needed its own engineer. A towering confectionery masterpiece, undoubtedly delicious, but also a symbol of the sheer scale of the extravagance. Every detail was the most expensive version of itself. No expense spared, no corner cut, ice cubes hand-carved by monks, flown in from a remote monastery, adding a touch of artisanal flair to the already over-the-top affair. Napkins pricier than cars, each one a bespoke creation woven from the finest silk, embroidered with gold thread, and undoubtedly discarded after a single use. Through it all, Jeff and Lauren glided with fixed, camera-ready smiles. Perfectly practiced, eternally plastered, never faltering even for a moment. Their interviews with Vogue were a masterclass in cringe, a carefully constructed narrative designed to portray them as relatable, down-to-earth, and deeply in love. Describing boardroom meetings as if they were scenes from a romance novel, turning mundane business transactions into passionate encounters, blurring the lines between professional ambition and personal desire. It felt less like love and more like a corporate merger, a strategic alliance designed to maximize profits and enhance brand recognition. The event was a monument to excess, a blatant display of wealth and privilege designed for headlines, not for genuine connection. A carefully orchestrated performance intended to generate buzz and solidify their status in the celebrity stratosphere. It was flawless, expensive, and emotionally vacant, a hollow shell of a celebration, lacking the warmth and authenticity that truly make a wedding special. A wedding for the cameras, not the couple. A performance for the world, masking a deeper, perhaps more complicated reality. A wedding this big needs a guest list to match. It was a Noah's Ark of fame and questionable choices. Tech billionaires, Hollywood A-listers, and random royals. Everyone was famous, but no one seemed to be having fun. The guest list was a strategic masterpiece. Tech titans, Hollywood royalty, media moguls, all there to reinforce the brand. It wasn't a gathering of friends, it was a summit of the global elite. Leonardo DiCaprio's presence was peak irony, a climate activist at a party with a carbon footprint the size of Belgium. The whole thing was a drama about the disconnect of the super rich. Each guest was a prop, a symbol of power. It was the ultimate power move. Assemble the world's most powerful people just to watch you get married. The internet had a field day. While mainstream media fawned, the rest of us made memes Bezos as a Bond villain, Amazon drones dropping rose petals. But beneath the jokes was real anger. The contrast between this display of wealth and the reality for Amazon workers was glaring. Hashtags the rich trended as people posted party pics next to stories of warehouse conditions. The wedding became a symbol of wealth inequality. Leonardo DiCaprio became the poster boy for celebrity hypocrisy, preaching climate action while partying on a super yacht. The event highlighted the performative environmentalism of the rich. The internet didn't just mock the wedding, it rejected its entire premise. The public created a counter-narrative, greed, hypocrisy, and a profound lack of self-awareness. Let's be honest. A huge part of the fascination surrounding any celebrity wedding, especially one of this magnitude, is the fashion. We dissect every detail, from the bride's gown to the guest's attire. It's a spectacle of style, or sometimes a spectacle of something else entirely, and this wedding delivered in the worst way imaginable. It was a masterclass in what to wear to a wedding, or perhaps what to do when you have unlimited funds and questionable taste. Lauren Sanchez's dress was less a garment, a cohesive piece of wearable art, and more a collection of expensive mistakes, haphazardly sewn together with the thread of excess. Each element on its own might have been acceptable, but combined, they created a truly unforgettable fashion faux pas. Lace, sequins, and what appeared to be, are those feathers. A neckline that seemed to exist in another time zone or perhaps another dimension entirely. It defied gravity, good taste, and possibly even the laws of physics. It screamed, "I'm rich," louder than anything else at the wedding. Louder than the string quartet. Louder than the champagne corks popping. Louder even than the private jets landing nearby. The internet, naturally, had a field day, comparing it to everything from a figure skater's costume, destined for Olympic glory, or at least a local ice rink, to a fallen chandelier, glittering tragically on the floor after a particularly wild party. And speaking of parties, there was a full-blown red carpet at the wedding, because nothing says intimate celebration of love like a horde of paparazzi snapping your every move. It's the perfect way to ensure your special day feels completely personal and private. Guests looked understandably confused, caught between the desire to celebrate and the overwhelming sense that they had accidentally wandered onto a movie set. Some dutifully adhered to a black-tie dress code, looking elegant and refined, while others seemed to have taken a wrong turn and ended up dressed for a Miami nightclub, ready to dance the night away under the neon lights. The result? A visual mess of epic proportions, a parade of bad taste marching proudly down the aisle of excess. When you have unlimited resources and no one to tell you no, you inevitably lose perspective on what looks good, what's appropriate, and what's simply too much. The fashion wasn't just bad, it wasn't just a collection of unfortunate choices. It was a glaring metaphor for the out-of-touch culture of the super rich, a symbol of the disconnect between their reality and the rest of the world. More was always more. And even then, it wasn't quite enough. And subtlety? Subtlety was nowhere to be found. Banished from the premises like an uninvited guest. The wedding style was loud, a cacophony of clashing aesthetics, expensive, undeniably so, and utterly, irrevocably, graceless. It was a wedding that will be remembered, not for its beauty or elegance but for its sheer, unadulterated lack of taste. Before the wedding, the couple graced the cover of Vogue. Not just a magazine spread, a strategic branding exercise. The photos were airbrushed masterpieces of awkward posing, presenting them as a power duo, not a couple. One shot had them in a pickup truck, trying and failing to look like regular folks. Another showed them laughing on a private jet, which felt more honest but no less staged. The whole spread felt like an ad for a fragrance called Ode to Unfathomable Wealth. The interview was pure PR speak, their romance described in corporate jargon. The Vogue cover was the opening salvo in a campaign to control the narrative. The goal wasn't a private moment, but a public image, sanitized, commercialized, and brand safe. In the end, it looked stiff, artificial, and a little desperate. The backlash to the Bezos wedding isn't just about one party, it's about the chasm between the super rich and everyone else. While we worry about bills, they worry about the size of their yacht's helipad. The extravagance isn't just tone deaf, it's a failure to read the room, which in this case is the entire planet. Social media now lets us see their world in real time, making inequality impossible to ignore. The wedding became a symbol, a flashpoint for anxieties about wealth, power, and fairness. It's what happens when a few people become so rich they detach from society. Inside their bubble, this wedding seemed normal. From the outside, it looked obscene. The constant exposure makes the distance feel even more insulting. The event wasn't just a personal milestone, it was a cultural dividing line, and the world noticed. Strip away the glamour and what's left. This wasn't really a wedding, it was a branding event. The launch of brand Bezos Sanchez, a power couple for a new gilded age. Every element was designed to build and project this brand. Love was just part of the marketing campaign. Think of it as a product launch, interviews as press junkets, celebrity guests as influencers, media coverage as earned media. Their relationship is an asset, managed and monetized. We all curate our lives on social media, but billionaires do it on an industrial scale. Their lives become a reality show with an unlimited budget. The danger? The line between real and performed disappears. The wedding wasn't a private commitment, it was a public ratification of a strategic alliance. In an age where everything is content, maybe that's the only love story the super rich know. So, what does the Bezos wedding tell us? That staggering wealth can destroy your sense of proportion and fashion. It's a snapshot of our culture, wealth, inequality, celebrity obsession, and the transformation of private life into public spectacle. The super rich live in a parallel society insulated from reality. For them, a wedding is a media production, not a private moment. When your life is a performance, is any of it real? Maybe we just laugh at the memes, get angry and move on, or maybe we start asking bigger questions about the world we want. And next time you see a billionaire in the headlines, maybe update your Amazon password. You never know.